The great things about making a low-budget horror film or a low-budget monster movie is that the monster becomes the star. You know, if you're making a zombie movie or a werewolf movie or a vampire movie, that monster is the draw card. You know, you don't need a name to sell the project. And I don't think there's any other genre out there where you can do that, where the actual genre becomes a star. Undead was loosely based on a trilogy of short horror films that Peter and I made when we were about 19, 20 years old. The advantage of making a short film, or making a trilogy of short films before you go out and make a feature film, was that we could take specific scenes that we liked from the short film, that we thought worked in the short film, and we translated them into the feature film. A lot of great feature films can come out of some of your short films simply because you've already tested the ideas and you know whether they work or whether they fail. We knew that the financing system here in Australia wouldn't fund a project like this, so we worked for 4 years on TV commercials before we decided to take all that money that we had made doing those jobs and put it into our first feature film. The majority of the Undead interiors were all constructed, they were all sets. And the way we were able to do that was, while we were doing television commercials, whenever we'd finish a job, we'd keep the sets, we'd keep the flats that we built, I'd store them in my parents' garage, and we accumulated literally dozens of flats. And it was the same with props, you know, we'd finish an ad and we'd shoot an ad with a kitchen. And I'd take that kitchen home and I'd store it at my parents' place. And we literally, over the course of a year, just accumulated whatever we could off other shoots. I think the key to any production, you know, low budget or big budget, is preparation, is to have things worked out in advance, you know, to really prepare. But certainly with low budget, to have everything worked out is absolutely crucial, because you can't leave anything to chance. We shot on Super 16mm, that was very important to us. We wanted to make sure that we did shoot on film. It certainly does limit you, you know, we were doing 1 or 2 takes maximum. The thing that's really important with a low budget production is that you know exactly what you're going to go out and shoot. You know, we storyboarded everything. Every single shot, we knew the lens size of every shot, what kind of props we needed. There wasn't any excess. You had exactly what you needed. You didn't need any more than what you had on set. To have everything worked out is absolutely crucial, because you can't leave anything to chance. You can't just throw some money at a problem. You have to come up with a creative way to solve things.
Tonight is one of our last nights of shooting. We're shooting the van crashing, which is right here in the ditch. It's a little bit of a, let's just say it's not entirely safe.
Because we couldn't afford any light stands or anything of that nature at this point, or any rigging, we had to chain everything. So everything was, cabling was running up trees, multiple trees. I think we had something maybe 8 to 9 lights in trees. But it was a night that it was actually pouring rain.
It not just rained, it just pissed down. We didn't have any money for stunt people. We couldn't afford to really do it properly.
Come on, let's go.
The only way we could do it was by putting a brick on the accelerator, tying the steering wheel down, jacking it up.
I'm going to start the engine, I'm going to run to the back, I'm going to roll my camera, I'm going to say roll cameras, everybody else speed, and we're going to push the van.
And then knocking it off the jack and sending it on its way. And just kind of hoping that it wouldn't veer off and head towards any houses. The wheel starts spinning, and because it'd been raining so heavily, the wheels just got bogged and the car was just spinning and spinning. So I had to stand back up and push it so that it would actually push itself out of the ground and drive into the creek.
It was a bit of a hectic event, to say the least.
One of the great things about making feature film nowadays is that you have access to so much computer technology. You know, you can edit a film at home, you can edit it on your Mac or your PC, which is what we did for Undead. You know, we edited at home on a PC using Adobe Premiere. The budget for Undead was just under $1 million, and if we had to pay an effects company to do all the visual effects, that would have been several $1 million just to do them. And you know, Michael and I did 95% of them ourselves at home on our home computers, on fairly domestic software like Photoshop and After Effects and Lightwave 3D. I think one of the fatal mistakes that independent filmmakers make is that they spend all their time making their movie and they don't think about how they're going to sell their movie. Anybody who's making a low-budget horror film needs to start promoting their film from the production stage. While they're still shooting their film, they need to set up a website and start promoting their film on the internet and generate buzz, because it is a cheap way to get out there to a large audience. We set up a trailer that you could download. We set up cast and crew stills. We set up information on the production, and we contacted key internet gossip sites like Harry Knowles at Ain't It Cool News, Creature Corner, Dark Horizons. We kept these guys updated in terms of what was happening with the production, and eventually, when we finished the film, we sent out a screener tape. And thankfully their responses were fairly positive, and they promoted the film on their websites, and this generated interest from literally hundreds and thousands of potential viewers. The most important thing is that you are persistent, that you keep going. You know, if you make mistakes, you learn from them and you move on. You know, I think there's a lot of talented people out there, but there's not a lot of persistent people that push themselves, you know, harder than the other person. So I think a lot of success will come from persistence.